it, I think, in what our little committee's doing. We had a meeting with the project engineer, the architects, the people that are doing the inside, etc., and they listened to what the community had to say. They told us what the building was going to be made of, what the outsets were, what kind of planting they're doing, etc., which was exciting. Some of our people on the committee seem to know a little bit more about what the plants and how they grow out here, and informed them that that 1 year of watering that they were going to do on all the plants needed to be 2 years in order to be able to, and I think they took notice. But the exciting thing, if you've all been by there, we've got movement.
Yeah.
The security fence, as of March 31st, the security fence was added to the construction site. Trees were trimmed, and as per the fire department, and not a tree is going to be cut down or moved. As of yesterday, the garage started to come down, as the old office did too, and as Mary said, and we're still alive.
My name is Cindy Fernandez, and I'm the Director of Education and Student Services for the Acton Agua Dulce Unified School District, and I would also like to introduce as well Mrs. Janet Simons, who is the Agua Dulce Elementary School Principal. Brought Mrs. Simons with me tonight. In order to increase yourself 10 points is really difficult. To increase 20 points is really amazing. To have an increase of 49 points is just unheard of. And I, as testing director, I went into some of the records and I took a look statewide at how many schools had actually had that big of a point increase on API. And Agua Dulce was one of 12 schools statewide that had an increase to that level. So I know that this is the Agua Dulce 10 Council, and I did want to point that out. You should be very proud of your elementary school and your teachers in the elementary school there.
Larry Hensley is our Chief of Planning. He's here this evening. He has a map of the proposed trails.
As some of you are aware, we came to you back in '06 with a map that showed all of the trails that the Santa Cruz Valley CIVTAC Trails Advisory Council, which had representation from both not only Agua Dulce but also Acton on that council, and they GPSed and mapped trails that they would like to see on the county's adopted trail map, which did go to both the Regional Planning Commission and then the Board of Supervisors, and was eventually approved by the Board of Supervisors in February of '07. This is a map that actually goes into the greater Agua Dulce area. Of course, it goes all the way over to Castaic and all the way over to practically Lancaster.
Dan Kegel here reporting for the Acton Agua Dulce News. Today is March 14th, 2011, and the California Highway Patrol hosted an Every 15 Minutes program at Vasquez High School. The program was designed mainly to make sure kids don't get behind the wheel under the influence of alcohol. Can you tell me a little bit about the Every 15 Minutes program?
Well, I know they come on the announcements, tell you people had died and they were killed by a drunk driver.
But it actually didn't happen. It's just an awareness.
What? It didn't happen?
It didn't.
I thought we lost about a dozen students today already. It didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. It's just an awareness. And there's going to be a rehearsal for a car accident out in the campus. Do you plan on attending?
Well, yeah, but I got a call. I already sent flowers out. I need to cancel the orders.
Well, every 15 minutes is incorporated by us, Sheriff's Department, and Emergency Resources to reiterate the fact that drinking and driving takes lives every 15 minutes.
To have that disagreement, but at the end of the day, they can't match the experience. Mr. Dunn
put up the definition of safe yield from San Fernando. And there's really no, I don't think, any disagreement that this is the standard for the court in determining safe yield and then overdraft.
Like 1951 through 2008, I guess it was. And you take an average, and you assume that for the next 200 years, that average is going to be what happens every year, right, over that period of time. That's an average. And then you look at pumping within the last 30 years.
I think the precipitation in and of itself doesn't get you to the answer you need, because the end game, really, the real issue is of the gross volume of precipitation over the entire geographic area, how much of it actually manifests itself at the water table.
Within that range is a management and a policy decision. And with a range, the ranges that have been presented here, it's for your honor to decide who is presented the more credible situation.
Yes, sir. Your comments about proposed settlement agreement.
The Los Angeles County Board of Supervisors, which is the governing body for Los Angeles County Waterworks District number 40,
yes,
has approved the settlement with the wood class. We're ironing out details of the settlement agreement itself. When we're done with that, we expect counsel for the wood class to make a motion seeking preliminary approval.
Sure.
And that would start a process that we have to go through in order to get court approval of the agreement with the class. We went through the same process with the Willis class, which resulted in court approval.
Sure.
So that's where we're at.
A lot of public ratepayer and tax dollars got wasted, in my view.
Yeah.
And a lot of private capital got wasted as well. And we don't have a single additional drop of water after all this money.
And do you feel it was exhaustive, though? I mean, were all the stones unturned as to what's possible?
I think all the participants did about as good a job as they could have to try to get the facts out.
Do you feel, sir, that your client, Rio Tinto, got full exploratory process in this case?
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure I totally understand what you mean by exploratory, but I think we did examine the issue given the data that existed, and there are obstacles to coming up with a final estimate, which is what the court's trying to do, given the existing data.
Have you, during the course of your study about this case, done research in other adjudications? And the second part to that question would, how did they treat all of the people involved? Was anybody put out of business, for example?
Well, absolutely. I was involved in the Santa Maria adjudication as well. Judge Kumar was also the judge in the Santa Maria adjudication. That basin currently is under monitoring and management, which I think is what this basin needs. This basin is not an overdraft now, but it certainly could benefit for everybody.
Sure.
Whether you're a landowner, whether you're a little small landowner, a bigger landowner, whether you're a public water purveyor, this basin can certainly benefit from watching it, monitoring it.
I think that the lawyers that represented the landowners today did an excellent job in pointing out the deficiencies in the water purveyor's analysis. And they also did a very positive job of advocating for the landowner's position. And of course, the landowner's position is in essence to save the community, save the community from the socioeconomic damages of what the purveyors want to impose on us. The purveyors want all of the landowners and some of themselves to have what's called transferable water rights, which means based on this process, we'll all give water rights that can be kept with our land or sold or leased to other parties. And the purveyors see this as a very economical way of getting water in the future. We see that as a good thing because we would rather sell our water rights on the open market like they do in the adjudication just east of us in Mojave, rather than have it be taken with no compensation at all.